Okay, we're out at job 26880. It's the Lakewood Town Center project. And mostly this job entails asphalt remove and replacement, which we'll be able to use our own milling machine to do these grind and overlays on this section. There's multiple areas, but this is the first and the biggest section that we have. You got Barnes & Noble, and you got the AMC Theater. We can block this down here, basically close it. We can close right here when we go to do this section. This section, which is the main parking lot, is your 2-inch milling, okay? It's 21,339 square feet, which is around 267 tons. So if we can grind this all out in one day, that would be perfect. We do not have to grind and put back in the same day. So we can take out all of this if we want on day one, and then come back day two, pave this out. One thing we want to make sure we do is start in the front and work our way this way. Same thing with putting in the asphalt. Start here, work our way this way. So that way, if for some reason we don't finish that day, we'll at least have this area paved in, and then hopefully we can get that thing striped as well. But just know that we can grind it all out. We can use our milling, mill it one day if we need to, pave it the next. Out here, this is a 3-inch mill. Okay, on that you've got 318 tons. It's 16,956 square feet at 3 inches. Okay, so same thing. We can grind this all out, and if we don't have time to pave it back, it's okay. We can leave it. People can drive through, and then the next day, close this down, and then do all this paving here. We can close this down here, so that way nobody comes in. We'll want to make sure we put a barricade up in this area, so that way people aren't driving all the way in here and having to turn around. So we'll want to close it all the way out here when we go to do this work. And then we'll have to close this off right here, and we'll have to close this off right here, as well as these little spots in here. Okay. People can still park here, but they have to go back out that way. Same thing at Barnes & Noble. There's 2 entrances on the south end. On the ADAs, I've got all the quantities put in on a quantity sheet for us, but we're going to have to remove all these surface mount posts, plus I think a majority of them are posts that are set inside the concrete. So we'll have to do a 1 foot by 1 foot square saw cut, 6-inch depth, pull out the concrete where the sleeve is, and then put in a new heavy duty sleeve anchor, and then we're going to put just regular Telspar posts inside those sleeves. So one thing to keep in mind of here at AMC is that right down here, we'll have to put in a new speed bump. Okay, that's a 20 foot by 3 foot wide speed bump and about 3 inches tall. And take that back, disregard the length on the speed bumps. I already got that in on the quantity sheet. For this speed bump here, that speed bump there, you'll notice that there's a gap in between. These gaps that are in between these are about 4 foot gaps, okay? 4 foot gap there and a 4 foot gap over there. I'm gonna show you what these posts look like real quick on the ADAs. By the way, we'll salvage all the ADA signs. We will have to supply one new ADA sign panel because there's one missing down there. So you can see some of this has surface mounted posts, but we're still gonna have to cut out a 12-inch square so that we can put the sleeve anchor in. See, these ones have sleeves already put into the concrete. And we'll have to cut these out on the rest of these. There's Barnes & Noble. This is where the 3-inch is going to be done, the 3-inch milling. I've got centerline striping, and I've got that cross hatching and these arrows all factored in. Over here, they had some cross hatching done there. We do not have to do that cross hatching anymore. Just do straight stalls all the way through. We want to make sure that on the striping, we paint the curbs. You know, there's red painted curb here. There's some curbing out here that needs to be painted. We want to make sure we touch up everything that has asphalt around it, so this all looks nice and clean with new striping. There's a 24-inch stop bar that's out here, and that skip line that goes all the way through. The white crosshatch that's right there, that needs to be done by Barnes & Noble, the 4 arrows. Okay, so make sure you plug that in. So I just showed you 3.2 of 15. I showed you that page. That's the EMC. Now I'm going to take you up here a little bit farther north, where there is Michaels, Old Navy, and Ross. We're going to do a grind and overlay in that section, replace the striping, and then also put in 3 new 88 ramps. Here's a close-up version of it. You can see this is 11,448 square feet of 2-inch milling. So we'll do a 2-inch mill with our own equipment and put back new asphalt. Stripe back all the stalls, handicaps, and the center line skip, which is yellow. We need to plug in some pricing for our engineer. I've just put in a phone call today to our ADA guys, who I think it's Joel, asking about the purple ADA ramps here. What they want to do is they want to raise up the front edge of these ADA ramps because they're not getting water flow, proper water flow. Right now, what's happening is there's puddling up against the sidewalk in these areas. Well, over to the left here, at about third stall over from the ADA, is the catch basin, but the water is not flowing to the left. It's kind of sticking around near the ADA stalls and near the ramps. Wepler came out here, used the transit, shot grade, and his concern is that if he raises up the front edge of these curb ramps, you know, we'll obviously have to raise up the asphalt to make sure that flow, well, for one, make sure it's not a trip hazard going up the curb ramp, but also that we continue to get water to flow to the left from this point here over that direction. And it'd be better to have a set of engineered drawings to follow in order to do this correctly. Okay. We need to remove the ADA signposts. We don't have to remove these over here. Actually, yes, we do. We need to remove those as well. So all of these ADA signs need to be removed and replaced. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 ADA signs and posts where we can salvage the sign panels, but we need to cut out a 12-inch square out of the sidewalk, remove those old sleeves, put new sleeve anchors in, and put Telspar posts in. And the post needs to be from the asphalt to the bottom of the sign, a minimum of 5 feet. That means it'll be 78 inches from the asphalt to the top of the ADA sign. Okay, now this concrete here, we need to put into our price the cost from our engineer to draw this up. And we need to drop this whole entire area here. We need to draw up this, and we need to draw up this curb ramp down here. And here's the reason why. As you can see, all this water just sits here. It sits here at the ramp. It sits here, sits a little bit here, and this is already kind of a lip, as you can see. We need to get that flush if we can. We need to get water to travel to that. So in order to do that, everything needs to lift up slightly as you go into this direction. Now, right now this concrete acts kind of like a barrier to where the water that's there is supposed to go that direction to the nearest catch basin, which I believe there's one down this way. Let's see. There actually isn't one down here, but that's okay. We don't need to worry about this side. We need to worry about everything on this side of the concrete. You can see this is all starting to separate out from here. So what I want to propose is this. For right now, we need to plug in the amount of concrete needed to remove a lot of this sidewalk area where the ramps are, and then also remove this. Like I said earlier, they want us to raise these front edges up 2 inches. Well, that means we'll have to raise the asphalt up 2 inches. Now it would work down here, but as we get down there, we want to make sure the water is going downward. And if we raise that up, that means we're raising the asphalt up, and we might be causing this to just puddle up again. So for right now, we're sticking with the plan to do the 3-inch, I think it was 3-inch, milling, 2 or 3, I can't remember what I just said in the video earlier. We're gonna stick with milling this out and then putting this back. We might want to throw a little extra asphalt in on this, just because we might have to raise it up a little bit higher in this area in order to get this water to flow that direction. So I'm going to give you a dimension on removing this here, and then also removing these 2 panels that are right here, and putting that ramp, as you see right here. Put that ramp right here. Okay, so this will be removal of concrete, 18 by 18. We're not going to put the ramp up there. We're going to move it back here. So we'll remove 6 inches of concrete here, 18 by 18, and then we'll remove these 2 panels here, which will be a 6-inch depth. And then we'll remove this here, which would be an 18 by 8. So 18 by 8. We'll be able to leave this open in front of Old Navy. People can come in and out, but they'll have to exit over in this direction here. We'll probably close this down over in here. So removal of this, and then we'll put back this 18-foot wide ramp like you see here with a truncated dome, and we'll bring it in. It'll be approximately about a 6-foot ramp coming this direction, and then we'll have a landing up here at the top. Okay, remove all this, remove this, put the ramp right here. This area right here, since we're going to take it down 6 inches, we got to backfill this 18 by 18 with 3 inches of gravel, so crushed rock, and then we got to put in the 3 inches of asphalt to fill this space in. So when we go to do the grind and overlay on all of this, we'll have this area removed. We'll have to grind this down, not grind this down. Once this will be removed, we'll have to fill it with concrete, or rock, I mean, crushed rock, and then make it smooth and flush with all this new asphalt. Here, go to remove these. We'll have to remove this panel, this section here, and this section here. So this area sidewalk will be a 24 by 8. We'll remove this sidewalk. We'll also have to remove this 24-foot strip of concrete, which is a total of 18 inches. It's 6 inches above ground and 12 inches below, so we'll have to dig that out. Okay, make a saw cut here. Put back an 24 by 8, and then we'll put in this new curb ramp. This curb ramp is on, I think, detail D2 or D3. You'll see it in the details that I provided on Google Drive. Over here, we'll remove we'll end up removing this small panel here, and then this, just all the way to the brick. So this is 22 by 8, all the way to here. 22 by 8, remove and replace concrete at 6-inch depth. We've got 22 feet of 18-inch tall curb. That's 6 inches wide. That we'll have to remove and replace. We'll have one curb ramp, ADA ramp, that's right here. Okay, and this is in that detail as well. Okay, so that should be it for now. If we plug in these quantities, I think we'll be good for right now on our bid. And then we'll also have the engineer drawings from the engineer and the fee for him drawing that up. Hopefully I'll have an idea here in the next 2 days what it's going to cost, but we'll want to plug that in. I'll make sure to plug that in on Workman's dashboard as far as how much it's going to cost to draw up this design. Okay, final scope of work is on sheet 3.3 of 15. This is up by the Mexican restaurant Las Palomas, and this is what we're looking at. You got the bus transit on the left hand side, and then right here you've got a dumpster enclosure, you've got a sidewalk, and that purple area there is where we need to have the landing. Okay, so this crosshatched area, you're going to notice it's got grass in here that needs to be removed. We'll have some curb that needs to be removed. We'll have sidewalk to be removed, and then we'll put back new sidewalk with a ramp and a detectable warning mat. Okay, so this area is a 4-inch tear out. We're going to tear this out. We won't use the milling machine. We'll just tear this out. That's in square yards, so you have to multiply that by 9. But we will rip out all this asphalt and put back new. When we go to do the striping, that angled line there, all those angled lines, that'll be cross-hatching right there. I've already got that figured into the quantities. I've got that curbing. That'll be extruded curb, a 6x8 curb that will run off the sidewalk and connect it to existing. And that purple area is going to be the landing. Okay, you can see there's a little curb made right there as well. So here's the restaurant. Okay, I did some editing here. This will get removed. This entire sidewalk, which is 6 inches tall, 22 feet by 6.5. Let's call it 7. 22 by 7. Removal of this whole entire area. Then we're going to remove 6 foot by 5 foot and do a saw cut to here and stop right here on this line, so we don't get near this electrical box here. But we'll do a saw cut there on that 6x5. We're gonna remove that. That'll also be, let's just say 6 inches. Okay, now we're gonna pour back a 6x5 ramp that comes down to here. Okay, so when we go to put this back, this will come down to a flat surface. So what we have to do is, after we remove this, we're gonna have to remove an additional 4 inches on this pad right here in order to pour the concrete flush with the asphalt. And this is a 7x5. So we'll have to go 3 inch down. After we remove the concrete, we'll have to go an additional 3 inches down, 4 inches down, pour back a landing pad, which is 4 inch depth, 7x5. We'll also have to pour a curb, and we can do this all monolithically. We can form and pour this whole entire thing, but we need to put in a curb that goes that direction and this direction and stops right here, just like you see over there. The reason why is because they don't want wheelchairs coming out this direction. They want them to be able to come down, stop on the landing, and go this direction. Because this all right here will end up being asphalt. Okay, I have this entire area already built in. Okay, I already have this in my quantity notes. But what we're doing here is we're putting in new asphalt in this area, and we're going to be tearing out this grass, which I also put in the quantities already. We're going to remove all this grass to right about that joint mark right there. Okay, this will all be new asphalt. We'll put that all in as asphalt, 4 inches of asphalt in here. Okay, we're going to run curbing here. So I have this curb removal already in the quantities. I already have this new curb going in. Okay, and it will be extruded curb. So we'll tie in right here. We'll do a saw cut here, and then we'll go to 90 and do new curbing right in this location. All of this will be asphalt, except for where the landing is, and then of course our new ramp. This entire area of asphalt is going to be crosshatch, white crosshatch striping in this spot, like right here. I've got those quantities already as well. Okay, and that's it for scope of work for this. area. That's it.